to George Bodenheimer, that is now a possibility. Governor says, and I read, I am pleased that everyone worked together to get this game simulcast on CPTV. She continues, now the entire state can watch this exciting game. On behalf of our board of directors and our talented staff, my thanks to Governor Rell for making this game broadcast. You're going to enjoy quite a game, so please stay with us. Let's go to Hartford and watch a great basketball game.
Semifinal action at the Big East Tournament. The Pittsburgh Panthers looking to advance to the championship for the first time in school history. Standing in their way, the 13-time champion UConn Huskies. Welcome to Hartford and welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. It's the 2008 Big East Women's Basketball Championship, presented by Aeropostale. We are inside the XL Center for semifinal number 1. The Pitt Panthers and the top-seeded and top-ranked UConn Huskies. Pittsburgh with a win in the quarters over Notre Dame. UConn rolled over DePaul, and on the other side of the bracket, coming up later tonight, 7-seed Louisville with the shocker over the 2-seed Rutgers last night. They will take on the 3-seed West Virginia. Beth Mowins along with Brooke Weisbrod, and Brooke, a lot on the line for this Pittsburgh team. They have never been to the championship game, looking to break through tonight.
Agnes Baronato talked about making her program a great program, not just a good team. This is the kind of game that can build the program nationally for her. And what better way to do it than to knock off the #1 team in the country, the UConn Huskies.
It's going to be tough to do against UConn here in Hartford. They won the regular season meeting between these two clubs, and we've got Mercedes Walker and Maya Moore in the Star Watch.
Mercedes Walker got into foul trouble first half yesterday against Notre Dame, but not a bad finish, 18 points and 13 rebounds. And Maya Moore, only 6 of 16 yesterday. She said her start was worse than slow, whatever that word might be. So look for her to redeem herself today.
The starting lineup for the Panthers features Shavante Zealous, their leading scorer at 18 points per game, and an all Big East Conference selection. It's an experienced group of Panthers taking on Keisha Soigné and Renee Montgomery in the backcourt. Moore, the player of the year in the Big East Conference, along with McLaren and Tina Charles, who earlier today was amongst the 17 finalists for the Wooden National Player of the Year Award. Winner moves on to the finals to take on either Louisville or West Virginia tomorrow night at 7 Eastern on ESPN2, and Maya Moore up near the rim, lays it in for Connecticut, and here comes the pressure right away. These teams met on February 17th in Pittsburgh, and one of the problems for the Panthers was handling the pressure applied by Connecticut. And the tip by Montgomery, and there's the steal. Renee will pull up in transition for 3, and it won't go. Zealous with the basketball for the Panthers, the 5 seed with 22 wins on the year. Trying to establish inside, and Maya Moore knocked it loose.
Great help side defense from Maya Moore to recognize Mercedes Walker trying to hold off the defender.
Moore misses the mark on the 3. The Huskies come in 30-1 on the season. As you take a look at Agnes Baronato in her 5th year, 87-64, has completely turned around a Pittsburgh program that was down at the bottom of the Big East Conference when she took it over. Another steal for Connecticut. Pass behind Montgomery, who tried to flip it back in. And it goes over to the Panthers. Gina Auriemma, 651 career wins. The co-Big East Coach of the Year this season with Quentin Hillsman of Syracuse. One of those 5 national championships and 8 trips to the Final Four. But none of the current Husky players has made a trip to the Final Four, and they are intent on getting there down in Tampa later this spring. Sallard off the mark, and Walker with the offensive rebound, and she draws the foul.
Right now, Connecticut playing a matchup 2-3 type zone. So Mercedes Walker needs to make her presence known in the blocks, try and get those second chance putbacks whenever she can.
Foul charge to Moore, that is her first, and Walker to the free throw line. In the regular season meeting, this was all Mercedes Walker got. She made 5 free throws. She did not score a basket, so she is determined today. We saw her at shoot around this afternoon, and she was ready to go. Gets 1 of 2. That is what Walker and Zealous were able to do. Both held under 10 points. They combined for about 32 a game. And Montgomery gets the assist to Tina Charles. So for Pittsburgh to hang around, they're going to have to get numbers from Zealous and Walker today, and that is another turnover, 4th of the game already.
Shavante Zealous had just 2 points in the first half of the game yesterday, and she finished with just 9. And you can't rely on Mercedes Walker to be the sole scorer in your offense. You've got to have Shavante Zealous throwing in her 19 points a game.
Connecticut will have it underneath. Moore will inbound, the 6-foot freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, who has been in double figures in every game of her rookie campaign. Nice pass, McLaren down low to Charles. McLaren had 5 assists in their quarterfinal win against DePaul, and here are the keys for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh has to control the boards. They were out-rebounded 45-36 in that first meeting. They can't allow for second chance points to beat them. And turnovers, we've already seen a few. Against UConn, you've got to take care of the basketball.
4 turnovers, and they've yet to get a basket. 2.5 minutes gone in this Big East semifinal, and Zealous around and out. The keys for the Huskies look like this.
Well, UConn needs to just play their game, allow for it to open up, let it come to them. So far, they've done a good job. Yesterday, they began the game 5 of 19. So Gino Auriemma talked about getting the inside game established first. And to keep a body on Walker, they've done a good job so far. If they can keep her points limited like they did last game, they'll be able to control this thing from start to finish.
Their game is to get it and go. 82 points per game, 2nd best in the country. They are the best shooting team in the nation. And their defensive numbers are the best in the country as well. McLaren finds the seam, and Kylie McLaren continues her emergence late in the year for the Huskies. And they jump on top, 8-1. Timeout, Pitt, and they're in trouble early. The start that Agnes Baronato had hoped for. They're down early here, 8-1 against the top seed UConn. You would think they'd be coming in with some confidence, fresh off of that upset win against Notre Dame, their first ever victory against a top 10 opponent. And trying to get into the Big East Championship for the first time in school history, but UConn has delivered the early punch.
It's easy to have your confidence rattled within 30 seconds of walking in this building.
Agnes Baronato has directed quite a turnaround. Started out 6-20 and has improved every year. Last season they made it to the NCAA tournament, went to the 2nd round with a 24-win season. Her staff of Jeff Williams, Carolyn McCombs, and Shay Ralph has done a terrific job. And Renee Montgomery hits for 3.
First point scored by a UConn guard. The previous 8 had been all from forwards. So it sounds like they listened to Coach Auriemma yesterday when he said he wanted to get that inside game going early.
Foul is going to be called on Tina Charles. That's the first on Tina. And the 2nd team foul on the Huskies. The inbounds to Mallory Wynn. Wynn, the 6th-year senior from San Diego, who started out with Baronato when she was at Georgia Tech, and then transferred to Pittsburgh. Ended up with an ACL injury as well. Off the mark on the shot. Second chance effort, no. Walker on the glass, and Mercedes Walker, who didn't have a field goal in the first meeting between these two, gets the first bucket of the night for Pitt.
I like the footwork so far by Walker. She's found herself around the boards, especially when the rebounds come about. That's going to be a specialty for her, especially since UConn's playing zone.
Now they'll show some man on this possession. Xenia Stewart looking inside. A Walker, the kick out. Stewart off the bounce, no. Tina Charles snares it. And then the foul is going to be called on Tanisha Harrison. 11-3, Huskies jumping out early here in the Big East semis. Back here in Hartford at the Big East semifinals, the Huskies leading Pittsburgh 11-3. And the Panthers, the 5 seed, got here with the upset of Notre Dame in the quarterfinals last night, and it was a big second half effort that got them through.
It was, because Notre Dame started that game on a 14-2 run. Pitt only made their first 2 of 19 shots, but pulled back to within 1 at halftime, and in the second half, Mercedes Walker got a chance to answer. Xenia Stewart with some huge shots down the stretch, and a few free throws sealed the deal for Pittsburgh.
Tonight, Walker and Stewart have been held in check. The Panthers just 1 of 6 from the floor with 6 turnovers. Meanwhile, the UConn offense has been humming along. They have assisted on all 5 of their field goals. And 4 of the 5 players that started have scored already. They are also the top team in the country in assists. They assist on about 65% of their baskets, which is a fantastic number. Soigné air ball, and Wynn has the rebound.
UConn finding the offense in transition, recognizing where their players are, allowing the fast break only to continue just past half court.
Nice slash to the hoop by Harrison, and she missed the layup.
Those are the easy ones you can't miss. You can't take advantage of the easy layups, and that was a problem for Pitt yesterday, early in the first half, and Connecticut won't allow them to regain some ground if they get off to a slow start today.
Pittsburgh now showing the zone. Soigné will try and shoot over the top of it, and she does. The 5'7" senior out of Columbus, Georgia. The Big East 6th man of the year this season, and late in the year moved into the starting lineup. She's been there for 5 of the last 6 games. Walker scores in the paint. Of course, the reason why Gino Auriemma has had to shuffle his lineup around this year, not 1 but 2 ACL injuries, taking out a pair of their starters, Kalena Green and Mel Thomas. Green went down in December, Thomas in January. Charles from the elbow off the mark. Zealous out of the game right now for the Panthers, and Harrison can't get the shot to go. Offensive rebound. Stick back, no. Battle for the loose ball will be held up, and it will stay with Pitt. ESPN News coverage of Championship Week continues tonight with our second semifinal here at the Big East Championship, presented by Aeropostale. It's Louisville, the 7 seed, and the 3 seed West Virginia. It's all part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPNU. And of course, ESPN is your exclusive home for the Women's NCAA Championship. Looks like the conference is a pretty good bet for 8 teams getting in. That would match last year's total. Connecticut has a shot at the overall #1 seed in the tournament. And look, the Panthers probably looking in the neighborhood of a 4, 5, 6 in all likelihood, depending on how this week plays out. Of course, a week from tonight is NCAA Selection Monday for the women. Stewart with the shot clock under 10 is going to pull up, and it bounces up and over the top. The Panthers starting out 2 for 11 from the floor. And here is a look at the Panthers' resume. Strong RPI and strength of schedule. 7 wins against the top 50. Including the biggest wins of the Baronato era over Notre Dame, DePaul, and West Virginia, were all ranked in the top 15.
And they came very close to knocking off Rutgers.
And the reach in with the shot clock down to 5. They bailed out the shooter.
The difference in that game at Rutgers, or the game was at Pitt. Mercedes Walker went down about 3 minutes into the second half with a heavy high ankle sprain. Pitt was unable to establish any more of an inside game. Rashida Junaid pretty much took over the rest of that second half, her along with Kia Vaughn. Without Walker in the game, just doesn't have much of an inside presence here. You see her with all 5 of Pitt's points. And Mallory Wynn was certainly able to hit from the outside, but UConn's not allowing for any room for her to get a 3-point shot off.
Another Panther turnover. And that's number 7. Agnes Baronato, who has that slip of paper and the pen out with her during games, and she's been doing a lot of writing over there in the early going, down 11 already. They're almost halfway to their average, and we're just 8 minutes into the ball game.
And Beth, the turnovers have been unforced. They're lousy passes or lazy passes going above heads. You got to at least concentrate. That's a nice way to start getting back in the game. Those are the easy plays that Pitt's got to take advantage of.
Good dish from Wynn to Chelsea Scott. Moore gave up the 3 to find Soigné, and the long rebound back out to Keisha. Renee will bring it back out, and they'll swing it around to Maya Moore. Sharday Houston calling for it in the middle. No. Gets her own rebound. Had it stripped. Moore, baseline, and Maya Moore now with 4 in the ball game. Cannot give the Huskies that many opportunities. They are also the top rebounding team in the nation at plus 13 per game. Walker bothered on the shot by Houston. She'll try again, and it still won't go. Third chance, and it's rejected by Hunter. That leads to the break. Montgomery, good. Timeout, Pittsburgh. UConn on top, under 11 to go, and Walker had 3 cracks at it and couldn't knock it down.
And after the play, she stood back and was frustrated that she didn't get the call, but I think UConn played solid defense here. I don't see any taps along the shoulders of the body at all. That's just solid defense with the send from Brittany Hunter.
3 white jerseys all around, and Brittany Hunter is the one that sent it back. Walker 5 points and 6 rebounds. Cole is the only player other than Mercedes that has scored here in the first half. We're up to the minute news for everything that is college sports. Log on to ESPNU.com. If you don't have ESPNU, be sure to log on to ESPNU.com and type in your zip code at the top of the page, or call your local cable operator or satellite provider and log on to ESPNU.com today. And we are happy to announce that the U will be going HD in the fall. And the whistle and the foul is going to be called on Maya Moore. That's the second on Moore. With 10:44 to go in the half, it's been all Huskies so far. Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, and the 2008 Big East Women's Championship presented by Aeropostal. Connecticut 20, Pittsburgh 7, and the Huskies, well, so well balanced. This is why it makes it so difficult to defend them.
You've got so many offensive weapons on the team, and there's not a team better in the nation who can share the basketball like UConn can. First 8 points of the game were all scored by their inside players. Then they start to open things up. And when you do that, you go inside, then you go outside. Montgomery with the 3, Soigné with the 3. Take a look at this. ranking among the best, if not the best, in just about every statistical category out there.
They lead the Big East in all of those, including scoring and scoring defense, beating teams by over 30 points per game. And they have assisted on 6 of their 8 field goals. 5 different players, as we just saw, have scored for them. It's been all Mercedes Walker for Pittsburgh. Zealous has taken just 1 shot and is scoreless so far. And here she is with the basketball. Coming in, averaging close to 19 a game, and that's rattled in for 3 by Tanisha Harrison.
That's the first possession, Beth, that I've seen Pitt really relax, take their time, move the ball around. When they had an open shot, didn't seem to be intimidated that UConn was going to block it.
Connecticut trying to get back into the finals for the 14th time in the last 15 years and grab their 14th overall Big East tournament title. As Soignier hits from deep. Harrison walked with it. 8th turnover for the Panthers. It's amazing the Big East dominance over the years for UConn. It's 15 years in a row that they have won either the regular season or the tournament title. And in 9 of those years, they won both. And they are the regular season champs coming in. But it should be noted that the regular season champ has not won this tournament in the last 5 years. As Tina Charles scores again inside. 6 now for Tina.
These Hartford fans were cheering very loudly for Louisville last night as they were taking on Rutgers. And you know they'd much rather prefer a Louisville final or a West Virginia final than to have Rutgers back there.
And the defending champs were bounced last night. Zealous, tough shot. Keisha Soignier and Renee Montgomery have defended her very well tonight and in their regular season meeting. Hunter finding Houston. Back to Brittany in the short corner. No, Harrison gets it out to Carlisle Lim. UConn back to the man. Walker with Hunter on her defensively. Mercedes trying to work it into the paint, has to kick it back out. Harrison, no. Houston rebounds. Knocked out of bounds off of Charday Houston.
Mercedes Walker in the paint, cannot find any room. She's going to get double and triple teamed every time she catches the ball. Look here. You ever see Mercedes Walker get boxed out by a 5'7" Keisha?
She's got to do better than that.
Yeah. She's just got to establish herself a little better. She seems to be playing intimidated. I think those first few shots she took, UConn contested, put some bodies on her.
She's out right now. Shayla Scott, the freshman, has come on. Lim into the lane. And now Zealous on the drive and tried to drop it off for Cole and disoriented here offensively. Under 8 to go in the first half. 25-10, UConn on top. It's the Big East Women's Championship presented by Aeropostale at the XL Center in Hartford. Beth Mowens and Brooke Weisbrod. The first of 2 semifinals at the Big East tournament tonight, and the top-seeded and top-ranked UConn Huskies all over Pittsburgh with under 8 minutes to go here in the first half. We mentioned the injuries earlier in the year to Kalena Green and Mel Thomas for Connecticut. And everybody has picked up the slack a little bit, but no one more so than Renee Montgomery, their starting point guard, who has now become their starting shooting guard. And there is Mel Thomas, who had been the top 3-point shooter on the team, but Montgomery, prior to the Green injury in December, was only scoring 8 a game in 27 minutes. Then, up to the Thomas injury in mid-January, her scoring increased and so did her time. And since then, for the last month and a half, she's up to 18 a game in 33 minutes. Has done a terrific job of knowing what the team needs and providing it. And that's been extra scoring.
And she scored at least 20 in 6 of the last 14 games. Her three-point shooting has become very effective. She's just more aggressive and ready to take shots more so than I've ever seen her before.
Reach-in foul is going to be called on Chelsea Cole. That's the first on Cole. And that is the third on Pittsburgh. We've only had 4 free throw attempts and pretty clean first half of play so far. Tina Charles working on the freshman, uses that window. Charles, the 6'4" sophomore from Jamaica, New York, often overlooked by the talents of Montgomery and Maya Moore, but Tina Charles is having an All-American type of year this season. Averaging close to a double-double. She has seen her scoring, rebounding, and shooting all improve this year, despite the fact that during the offseason she had shoulder surgery and couldn't play pickup ball for most of the summer.
First personal foul, team has 4.
Connecticut at 53% from the floor.
And what they're doing well right now, Beth, is staying extremely patient on the offensive end. They're distributing the ball well. Everyone's moving when they don't have the basketball, so they're finding the best shot available on every possession.
They have now assisted on 9 of their 12 baskets, and the lead is 20. It's a 10-0 run right now for the Huskies. Zealous still scoreless in this first half. Runner baseline, no. Cole missed the putback. Moore in transition misses the 3, and Lim will push the other way. She's going to pull up on the break and knock it down. Lauren Dixon, the freshman from New York City, is now into the game. Number 30 in white for Connecticut. Charles with the catch and the finish. Tina Charles doing some work in the lane. 10 now for Charles.
And how about the way the posts are able to read each other? Tina Charles gives a look to Maya Moore, knows exactly where she needs to handle the basketball to get the easy shot off. Just a 1-2 nod, pass, easy score. They make it look incredibly easy.
Moore with her 5th rebound to go along with 7 points so far tonight. Charles. She's been working on the right side, now goes over to the left and draws the foul on Scott. That's her first. Well, Tuesday afternoon championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods continues with the Summit Women's Final. At 3 o'clock Eastern, it's Oral Roberts and IUPUI. ESPN is your exclusive home for the Women's NCAA Championship. 7 teams are in. 4 of them have been upset so far, with the regular season champion losing in their tournament. And there are 3 more bids to be handed out tonight, including the A10 title. As well as the SoCon, and then late night, the Pac-10 with Cal and Stanford. Marist, East Tennessee State, Murray State, North Carolina, Purdue have all gotten their tickets punched. San Diego's also on the list, SMU, and of course Tennessee winning in the SEC tournament with that win last night against LSU. And it'll be interesting to see if that will affect LSU's chances at a #1 seed. That's the rest of the list. Xavier reaching the A10 final against GW tonight as Sharday Houston scores. So I think the A10's probably looking at 3 bids. Pac-10 might only be getting 3 in. USC on the bubble right now. And Walker, another shot blocked. Deflected out of bounds to the Panthers.
This is what Sharday Houston does so well. Comes off the bench into the game and immediately provides a spark of energy, defense, and hustle that has been there already this afternoon for the UConn Huskies. But she says she has accepted her role of a bench player and more of a role situation, has embraced it, and you can see the results for yourself.
Oh, UConn got away with one there because they all ran away from the shooter Zealous, and it's been that kind of night for Shavante. Now 0 for 4 in the game. At 18 per night, an all Big East selection and over 1,400 career points. But Zealous, as she did in the regular season meeting, yet to find her range tonight.
Shavante is an excellent scorer. What she does well to get by one defender works on everybody else in the league. But UConn, with their fantastic help side defense and their help and recover situation, Sharday Houston. Wow. You hear the crowd. These fans love her.
A 17-2 run for Connecticut to bust this one open. And Houston will be at the line when we come back to the Big East semis. McCautry looking on as they wait out for their semifinal meeting with West Virginia coming up next. And UConn all over Pittsburgh here in the first half. The finalists for the Naismith Coach of the Year, and 2 from the Big East and 2 from the SEC.
Right now, looks like Gino Auriemma is in the front running. At 30-1, he's put together an incredible year when you take a look at losing 2 of your starters to an ACL injury. These Huskies have really regrouped and look incredibly strong so far this afternoon, and holding Pitt to just 12 first half points so far. They've disrupted them on the offensive side of things, playing great help side defense.
It's been a remarkable run. And with their regular season title this year, that number is up to 15 in a row with either the regular season championship or the tournament title. In their quarterfinal win yesterday against DePaul, they only allowed 11 field goals in the first half for DePaul. And were able to jump out to the lead. And now tonight, just 5 Pittsburgh buckets here in this first half. And Shavante Zealous still scoreless, 0 for 4. Houston soars for the rebound, and now Maya Moore on the break. Charles leading all scorers with 10 points for the Huskies, and the bump is going to be called on Sallard. That's going to be her second, 7th on the team. So that will send Soignier to the free throw line. Keisha's a 66% shooter.
Pittsburgh number 10, Keisha Harrison. Connecticut shoots the bonus. Soignier at the line, 1-1.
Top 10 now all time in steals, assists, and games played at UConn. The only other name on that list is Jennifer Rosati's, and that's where Keisha Soignier sits right now. Now the Panthers, who have hit just 2 of their last 13 shots, trying to go to work. Connecticut showing some zone and some man here in this first half.
Pittsburgh trying to run a semi-motion through the zone, sending someone to the middle each time to at least create some kind of flash situation to open things up for the outside. And again, UConn just collapsing in the middle, not allowing that to happen.
First personal foul. Team has 4.
There is Soigné in career assists, getting close to passing Shea Ralph, who is an assistant coach for this Pittsburgh team. And the shot is good from Mallory Wynn. There's Shea Ralph alongside Agnes Baronato. Won a national championship here with the Huskies. Hunter went down to scoop it up off the floor, and then the foul committed by Brittany, trying to chase it down. Miss Megan Gardler actually will be whistled for the foul. The 2000 Big East Player of the Year, as well as the Final Four MVP on a team that included Svetlana Brosimova, Sue Bird, Swin Cash, Tamika Williams. They went 36-1 that season. Foul's going to be called on Renee Montgomery. Gino trying to argue that Renee had gone straight up.
Well, I applaud the effort by Shavante trying to drive and make something happen. And she was a little past straight up, so good call by the referees there. Didn't get much of the arm, but just enough.
Tina Charles is back in for the Huskies.
Tina Charles returns, and Zealous still scoreless here with the missed free throw. 2:25 to go in the half. Breaks through with that one. That foul on Montgomery at the other end was her first, the 6th team foul. And on the drive by Houston, she takes contact. And Sallard picks up another foul. That's her 3rd. Coming up for you on our halftime report, we'll preview the Big East men. Their bracket has been released. Next week in New York City. Also some programming highlights for ESPNU in March, as well as stats and highlights from this first half of play.
22 Chelsea Cole is into the Pittsburgh lineup.
Cole checks back in now for Pittsburgh. Houston, the 6'1" senior from San Diego, trying to provide some spark off the bench in the final stretch of her career. She played well against DePaul, had 14 points and 5 rebounds. Gardler. And then taken right back by the Panthers, and Harrison gets the lay-in. Houston looking to go off the bounce. Strong to the left side for the lay-in.
Right now, Sharday Houston's overtaking this game, and the Pitt does not have an answer to match the athleticism and the quickness Sharday Houston has.
Houston now with 7 points and 3 rebounds. Look at her attacking off the bounce on Chelsea Cole, the freshman.
She's so good and so explosive off the dribble. I mean, she's great in the post area, but look at that first step. Gets her balance and her strength and can bump into the defender, and go up strong and finish the shot. Extremely strong, extremely quick, versatile player. Not bad to have her coming off the bench. If you're looking for a little help, you look down. Sharday, can you give us some help?
Mallory Wynn connects on the second free throw. Pittsburgh slowly trying to work their way back into it, and Wynn now just 7 points away from 1,000 for her career. And Houston again going back to the line. Sharday trying to get one more home game and make it the Big East Championship.
I think Sharday is really coming into her own in her senior year here. She seems to have accepted this role coming off the bench and plays with so much intensity and energy. and just a naturally talented player.
Coming out of high school, the National High School Player of the Year. And the numbers way down this year for Houston. A former starter, and now trying to do some work coming off the bench. Here she is over to help out defensively on Walker. Zealous skies for the rebound and the putback. And Shavante Zealous with her first basket of the half. Under a minute to go. Gardler into Charles. Montgomery using the Gardler screen, no. Rebounded and then blocked by Zealous. Wynn gonna take it coast to coast for the lay-in. Soignier off the dribble to the left side, all the way up and in. Houston going for the steal. Zealous now with 12 on the game clock. And Wynn's gonna launch for three, no. Second chance, Cole. Third opportunity isn't gonna fall. And Tina Charles finally has it. And that'll take care of the first half of play. 44-22. The Huskies with the lead. Walker 5 points and 7 rebounds more. Flip that, 7 points and 5 boards in the first half of play. Halftime here at the Big East semifinals with UConn on top. ESPN's. The winner moves on to the finals tomorrow night to take on either Louisville or West Virginia. That game is coming up, and certainly plenty of highlights and all the stats heavy towards UConn in that first half.
Definitely, and Shavante Zealous only 1 of 5. Xenia Stewart 0 of 6 right now. So for Pittsburgh, Mercedes Walker struggled in the first half just to get an open look, and when she did, you saw 1, 2, 3 UConn defenders all over her, and these are shots that Beth, she usually finishes. And you can see what disruption UConn makes. I mean, you got Maya Moore standing straight up there. When she turns to the middle, you got Sade Houston ready to attack and block. And you see Agnes Bernardo trying to coach her and just find some way to help get her back in the ball game. And UConn within 10 seconds already had a score here. Probably within 2 seconds, Maya Moore getting near the top of the rim. Everyone but Lauren Dixon has scored for the UConn Huskies so far this afternoon. They've done a great job at distributing the basketball. 11 assists on the afternoon. Sade Houston, 3 of 4 for 3 rebounds, 7 points, only 10 minutes.
Walker with 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. 9 turnovers for the Panthers in the first half, and Tina Charles with 11. She and Soignier both in double figures in that first half, as they shot 56% from the floor. Panthers will start out with the basketball, and Walker, Wynn, Zealous, Stewart, and Sallard. And Sallard starting out the half with 3 fouls.
One thing I'm sure Coach Bernardo addressed in the locker room was aggressiveness. That's something you can control. The way you attack the basketball and go up to try and at least get to the rim. And Xenia Stewart looking better on that play than she did the entire first half.
Foul's going to be called on Connecticut. It'll be Maya Moore. And for Maya, that is her 3rd personal. Mercedes Walker, offensive rebound and the putback. Connecticut going with Moore, Charles, Soignier, Montgomery, and Kylie McLaren in the white jerseys to start out this second half. Reach-in foul is going to be called on Zealous. That's the second on Zealous. Panthers looking for the big second half comeback to get to the Big East Finals for the first time in school history. For Connecticut, they were there a year ago, lost to Rutgers in the final. The defending champs were knocked out last night by the 7-seed Louisville. Tough shot from Montgomery. Grabbed by Charles, and then Pittsburgh stepped on the end line while contact with the ball. 4 on the shot clock right here for the Panthers, or for Connecticut. The lob to Charles, couldn't catch. Wynn unattended. Can't knock down the 3, and Moore has the rebound.
Wynn with the wide open look. Got a good shot at it, but just stood there after she shot it, didn't go after her own rebound.
McLaren, baseline move, won't go. Gets another opportunity, and the baby hook for 2.
How about the half assist, half rebound from Maya Moore there?
Soigné hawking Wynn. Walker the skip pass to no one in particular. Connecticut has forced 10 Panther turnovers. Actually, they haven't forced that many. A lot of them have been unforced. And now the steal from Sallard. And she'll take it all the way for the lay-in. Easy looks like that will certainly help the Panthers in their effort to try and get back in it. Foul's going to be called on Stewart. That will be her first.
Sallard with a nice anticipation, getting around McLaren before the bounce pass came in.
Gardler on to replace Moore. Charles working hard to try and post up on Walker, and Mercedes is going to be called for the push. That will be her first. Third team foul on the Panthers here in the second half. And the Huskies a little sloppy with the basketball coming out of the locker room. And Wynn missed the layup. McLaren blocked the shot, and Mallory tried to come back in from out of bounds. They have missed a handful of layups today that would make it a lot closer on the scoreboard for the Panthers.
Well, you can tell on that breakaway, Mallory Wynn was waiting for Keisha Soigné to come up from behind and make the steal. Rather than just focusing on the layup, by the time she got there, she was almost under the basket.
Montgomery with the runner. Renee now with 9 points. Walker isolated on just one defender and is able to spin around McLaren. That's the first clean look at the bucket she's gotten all night.
She gets good position here, holds off McLaren, gets her deep enough in the lane, and feels the body enough that she could turn over her right shoulder and finish with the left. It's a nice move for the big team, all Big Easter. First team all Big Easter.
65% at the free throw line, and Walker off the mark. Charles. Gonna go to work by herself and scores. Tina Charles now with 13 points to go along with her 4 rebounds. The regular season champion, UConn Huskies, trying to do what hasn't been done now in 6 years, and that's win both the regular season and the conference championship. They have done it on 9 previous occasions. But this tournament has gotten a little bit crazy in the last few years. We know we will have a new champion crown because the defending champs were bumped off last night. Louisville pulling off the shocker. A 20-point performance from Angel McCautry, who's got 45 points through their first 2 games of the tournament. They will be taking on West Virginia later. The 3-seed Mountaineers, that's the highest they have ever been in this tournament. Looking to get to the championship. Montgomery through traffic with the left hand.
Just dissecting the defense, and what Renee Montgomery does so well is read what the defense gives her. She saw the openings and took charge.
Zealous, no. Houston able to keep it alive, and look at Soigné now with the push. Tried to go behind the back with that pass. Leads to Zealous the other way for the lay-in. And I think Gino's going to get a timeout right here and have a little chat.
She's going to get the first one of that.
52-30, Huskies under 16 to go in the ballgame. Welcome back to the Big East Tournament semifinal action. Early in the second half, the top seed Huskies with the lead over Pittsburgh, 52-30. The winner moving on to the final tomorrow. More championships being waged today. These are some of the teams into the NCAA tournament. Of course, North Carolina and Purdue from the power conferences there. And already tonight, Xavier winning the Atlantic 10, and Chattanooga winner in the SoCon. Chattanooga was the favorite and the #1 seed, so they break through to win that. And one more to go later tonight out at the Pac-10. That won't start though till 10:30 Eastern, with Stanford taking on Cal. The breakout, Charles in front. Called for the walk. We'll take a timeout here along with the teams and be back to Hartford right after this. We take a look at some of their highlights from their upset of Rutgers.
Well, this ended up being a huge difference maker in the game. Now watch Louisville. They end up on this side of the floor. Problem is, they're headed towards the other basket. Epiphany Prince tries to recognize that, but comes in too late. Candace Bingham with the putback. And here's the assist we were talking about from Angel McCautry. Huge play, came off the screen. And then towards the end of the game, fantastic play here by Ratty to recognize the fact that she needed to touch the ball before it went out of bounds. And Angel McCautry again comes through, this time on the defensive end. Louisville, huge win, biggest win in program history, 57-56.
And for the Cardinal, with the 13 RPI now, the highest they've ever had at Louisville, and a strong schedule and 6 wins against the top 50. They are looking at another seed right in there in the 5-6 range, perhaps, for the NCAA tournament. Probably looks like 8 teams right now from the Big East will move on to the NCAA tournament. And remains to be seen whether Connecticut will be the overall #1. And I think they could probably lock that down with a championship here at the Big East tournament.
No doubt, and Louisville moved into the top 25. Today sit at 23rd in the nation, so they continue to become stronger as they move into postseason play.
That was a terrific play, that coming out of the locker room, and they were able to fake Rutgers into believing that they were going the other way. And whoop, nope, the quick inbounds and they score, and that really spurred them on to a big second half. And McCautry was huge down the stretch. Really just made all the hustle plays, did Louisville, to earn that upset. Montgomery with the steal and the lay-in. Renee now with 13 points. Soigné coming from behind to get the steal. Houston couldn't connect with Montgomery. ESPNU's coverage of Championship Week continues tonight with another semifinal. At 8 Eastern, it's Louisville and the 3-seed West Virginia. The Big East Women's Championship presented by Aeropostale as part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPNU tonight. And that one should be a doozy. You got a Louisville team that's hot right now, but they'll be playing for their 3rd day in a row. And West Virginia, the most experienced team in the country, including the 3-point shooting tandem of Meg Bulger and Laquita Owens. The two of them with over 70 each. That's the best in the NCAA this year. Montgomery, tough shot. Rebounded by Cole and then tied up. Connecticut will grab possession here. Hunter and Moore return to the Connecticut lineup. Moore to inbound. Maya 7 points and 6 rebounds tonight. Named today as one of the 17 finalists for the Wooden Award for National Player of the Year. Tina Charles was also on that list. Bit surprised that Renee Montgomery's name was not among the finalists. And I think she's having the kind of season that would garner some All-America attention as well.
Well, what she is up for is she's one of 9 finalists for the Nancy Lieberman Award. A couple of Big East names. Herself, Mattia Javon, Christy Tolliver, and Shannon Bobbitt are some of the other well-known names up for the award. We were just saying today, you got to put Renee in as a front runner right now.
It's going to be interesting how the committee will vote on that, Brooke, because Renee, who was playing at the point for the first half of the season and then with the injuries moved over to the shooting guard, even though she certainly has all the point guard skills in her repertoire.
400 career assists, never hurts.
Yeah, she and Swanya have been a terrific tandem in the absence of Mel Thomas and Kalena Green, who went out with the ACL injuries. Thomas the senior, so her collegiate career comes to an end, but Kalena Green will be back next year, and Shavante Zealous with the 3. The Husky defense has done a nice job of keeping her quiet tonight. Moore faces up. Now gives it up, and Hunter from 15 feet.
Maya Moore is one of the most mature freshmen I've ever seen play. And so many times when a freshman gets a shot like that, they just want to take it. They want to find a way to shoot, to score points. And not Maya Moore. She'll find an open teammate and get it to him. Just get points on the board. That's all she cares about, is a W at the end of the day.
Second personal on Shayla Scott. The freshman over there to get some instruction from her coach. She's really done a nice job of handling all the attention and the accolades as Montgomery scores. And of course, Gina Auriemma, the first one to tell you that she's still got plenty of things to improve upon in her game. He'd certainly love to see her able to get to the free throw line a little bit more than she has this year. And the struggles for Pittsburgh is they've got a couple of their own players bumping into each other over there in front of the bench. We'll have a blind resume for you coming up when we return to Hartford. Welcome back to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And the 2008 Big East Women's Championship, presented by Aeropostal. Our score, Connecticut 58 and Pittsburgh 33 here in the semifinals. Winner moves into the championship game tomorrow. Yeah. Wanted to give you a couple of resumes right here, Brooke, and let the fans at home compare which one is more impressive as we consider who's going to get the overall number one.
Well, both look pretty good. You're looking at undefeated record versus top 25, 10-0 and 11-0. If I was looking at this at home, I'd have to say the one on the right, to me, I'd have to say UConn. The one on the left, oh, I was going to say UNC. Looks like we got a flip-flop there. UConn A little bit less strength of schedule than Tennessee, but you know, at the end of the day, I think you have to look at their overall record, 29-1. They're able to get out of the Big East with the Big East championship. Only one loss on the year. In my mind, there's no question UConn gets the overall #1 seed.
Yeah, I think right now they'll probably be headed to Greensboro as the overall, well, either one of them probably would be headed to Greensboro as the overall number one. You go to the closest geographic region. And we should note that actually both of those clubs do have a loss to a top 25 team. Approaching 11 minutes to go. Winner moves on to take on either West Virginia or Louisville. That game coming up next here at the XL Center in Hartford. The Cardinals coming off the big upset last night, knocking out the 2 seed and the defending champions from Rutgers. Foul's going to be called on Renee Montgomery. That will be her second. Montgomery, Charles, and Soigné all in double figures tonight for UConn. And Zealous and Walker combining for 17 so far. They usually combine for 34. Working against the zone. Then tried to hand it off, got picked off, and they give it right back.
Great help side defense by Soigné to move down and anticipate the pass. Grabbed the steal, just couldn't hold on to it.
Zealous going to go off the dribble. And the foul is going to be on Maya Moore. And that is her 4th personal. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods continues with the Summit Women's Championship on ESPNU. Tuesday at 3 Eastern, it's Oral Roberts against IUPUI. ESPN is your exclusive home for the Women's NCAA Championship. And they'll get Maya Moore out of the game here with the 4 fouls. Moore with 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And remember, she has scored in double figures in every game of her career so far. She goes out with 10.5 to play. Three-quarter court pressure now from the Panthers. Tina Charles throws that one into the UConn bench. 31 straight games in double figures, ties the school record that Diana Taurasi put together over a 2-year stretch. Maya Moore already this year has set the freshman record. No other freshman in history here at Connecticut has had double figures in every game. She's also set the freshman scoring record, which Svetlana Abrosimova set 10 years ago. And in the process of rewriting the record books here at Connecticut.
Look at all those, and maybe the one that, obviously the one that stands out the most is being the first player in NCAA history to win Conference Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year. When you look
here
back
in the Big East.
Yeah, and you look back at all the great names that have come through UConn, even the great freshmen that have come in and made an immediate impact. Maya Moore stands out above the rest.
Charles with the nice catch, and Tina Charles, 15 now on the day. "14 assists on 25 field goals. This is a team that distributes the ball so well. Tops in the country in that category. You think of how potent their offense is, often you overlook the fact that they have the #1 ranked scoring defense and the #1 ranked field goal percentage defense in the country. They get the steal, and Charles had it blocked, but the second chance is good.
Well, so many times their offense is created by what they're able to do on defense. Their team help side and the weak side defense is so amazing, and it's great. They can read passes, get out in the lane, cause deflections, and most of the time that leads to easy layups on the other end, which will help with your field goal percentage and getting those points on the board.
Shot clock winding down. Zealous trying to go to work on Montgomery, and Charles has the rebound. Montgomery the push. Soigné hustling up the floor, and it's blocked by Harrison, and then last touched by Soigné. Let's take you back to Friday night at the Big East Conference banquet, when Maya Moore received the Player of the Year award. The career freshman scoring record is now hers, passing Abrosimova. Tina Charles is also right there on the list. They've got another fantastic freshman class coming in next year, led by Elena Deladon, the National High School Player of the Year. And the officials getting together on that last call to reverse it. McLaren pulls it back out. Foul's going to be on Pittsburgh. That'll go against Tanisha Harrison. 62-36. Huskies on top, under 8 to play. Semifinal action from the Big East tournament. And Connecticut has had their way tonight against Pittsburgh with under 8 minutes to go. The winner of this one moves on to the final tomorrow. And then coming up next, it's Louisville and West Virginia, the 7 seed and the 3 seed. Will go head-to-head. They met just 9 days ago in Morgantown, and West Virginia was able to come away with the win. And yesterday in the quarterfinals, McCautry and Sonny matched each other with 20 points and 7 rebounds.
Stick around for this game. It's going to be, I have a feeling we're going to look at something down to the wire, just like last night. Louisville on a roll, West Virginia, a bunch of seniors, highest ranking coming into the Big East tournament in school history. So you got two teams that are right at the top of their game. West Virginia maybe not playing as consistently as they'd like, but still able to put on a strong performance last night, take care of South Florida very early.
Sonny, one of the top post players in the Big East Conference this year. And of course, McCautry, the leading scorer in the Big East for the 2nd year in a row, 4th in the country. McLaren whistled for the foul. That will send Walker to the free throw line. Pittsburgh just 4 of 11 at the stripe so far. Mercedes can't get the first one to go. She's sitting on 9 points and 9 rebounds. McLaren goes out, and Maya Moore returns. Moore with 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, trying to continue her streak of double-digit scoring. It's 31 in a row, her entire freshman season so far. Houston walked with it. th turnover for Connecticut, 16 today for Pittsburgh. And for the Panthers, just 27%, their 2nd lowest total of the year, as they have struggled mightily against the UConn defense so far. Foul charge to Houston, that's her 3rd. And now Tanisha Harrison to the line. Harrison with 5 points, her first trip to the stripe. Tanisha, the 6-foot freshman from Bowie, Maryland. She and Cole and Shayla Scott represent a bright future for this Pittsburgh program. In their freshman seasons, they've all played some quality minutes.
Next year, they can look for a little more inside help. Selena Nwude has been out this season, had an injury in her knee, to her knee. Coach Baronato decided to keep her redshirted, and then midway through the season, they lost Jania Sims for the rest of the season. So Jania would be able to at least help break down some of the defense here and compete with the UConn guards.
Yeah, that was a big loss for this Pittsburgh team. Would have given them more depth, too, at the guard position. Charles fouled. It's going to go on Sylvie Taffin. Here are the Panthers, and the numbers according to collegerpi.com. 22 wins, and big ones over West Virginia, DePaul, and Notre Dame, their first win ever against a top 10 opponent.
I'd have to think with the 23 ranked RPI, it puts them, I mean, in my opinion, maybe a 6, 7 seed.
Could even be higher than that, get into the semis here in the Big East tournament.
Good point.
On how the selection committee will look at it. And that was a very nice win over Notre Dame. Walker. Harrison gives it back. 3 white jerseys around Mercedes. Now 4 of them around her. 5 on the shot clock. Walker gives it up for Taffin for the lay-in to beat the shot clock buzzer. Montgomery short, and the charge taken by Walker. And that's the 3rd on Renee Montgomery.
How about Mercedes Walker? Assist on one end, charge on the other.
The 6'3" senior from Philadelphia, the leading rebounder in Pittsburgh history, with over 1,000 points as well. She's got 10 points and 9 rebounds, looking for her 15th double-double of the season, and they turn it over again.
And in most losses, Walker's only averaged 8 points a game, and in the wins, it's at least 15. Now her average is right around 14 points a game, so you can see what a difference it makes when she can't get those points on the board.
Wynn walked before she got the shot up. Mallory with 5 points today. That's 4 shy of 1,000 for her career. Gardler off the dribble, tried to feed it to Charles over her head. I mentioned Wynn closing in on 1,000 points. Walker and Zealous are both there. And Mallory now 4 points shy. The offense, though, has struggled here today against Connecticut's tough defense. Dixon pushing the pace. She'll pull up and elevate for 2. Lauren Dixon, the freshman from Christ the King High School in the New York City area. Timeout call by the Panthers with 4:47 to go. Let's talk about some of the big milestones in the coaching profession around the country this year. And Bob Knight at Texas Tech, win number 900 for the coach before he stepped down. Eddie Sutton winning his 800 out at San Francisco. And then Vivian Stringer at Rutgers winning her 800th. Just the third woman's coach to reach that plateau. And then just a couple days later, it was Mike Krzyzewski's turn at Duke, getting win number 800. Pretty good group right there.
Give a quick plug for Coach Stringer's book. It's on its way out. She's been doing some promotional tours for that. And from what we understand, it's helped her players get a better sense of who she is and why she does things the way that she does, and a little bit more about her history and upbringing. So, might be a good thing for the Rutgers team. Maybe they should all read it before they head into the tournament.
Gardler comes back in. Moore goes out with 4.5 minutes to play. Tahira Williams out top to Dixon. Now Charles with 5 on the shot clock. Gardler looking for 3. No. Williams blocked by Taffin, and then headed to the other end of the floor without the ball. It's held up, and it will go to Pittsburgh. Oh, wait, Taffin with the send back.
Well, you know, the fans weren't happy about it, but that was 100% all ball.
Under 4 now to go. UConn closing in on a trip to the Big East championship game for the 14th time in the last 15 years, in control so far tonight. Oh, wow.
I'd love to be able to do that.
Man, the flexibility. Connecticut with the lead over Pittsburgh here, the Big East semifinals. 3:49 to go. And ESPNU currently available in over 20 million homes, and it's been a great season in 07-08 with over 600 live events. And here's some of the stuff coming up in March on ESPNU, including more basketball and hockey for you, and the women's selection show on March 17th. To request ESPNU, go to ESPNU.com and enter your zip code at the top of the page in the area listed as Get ESPNU on TV. And get ready for ESPNU HD, which will launch on August 28th with over 250 live HD events scheduled for the first year. Kick's going to reset the shot clock back up to 15. 21 points for Tina Charles, 15 for Renee Montgomery, and 10 tonight for Keisha Soignier. If Maya Moore's night is done, that will be the end of her double-figure scoring streak. She has been in double digits in all 31 of her college games this year, and 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists so far. Walker and Zealous have combined for 21 to lead the way for Pittsburgh.
You'd have to imagine Coach Auriemma is going to leave her out of the game at this point to forsake having an injury. Don't want to keep her around for a while. A few more games to go before the season ends.
Dixon with another bucket. She's got 4. 8 different Huskies have scored. A very balanced attack tonight. The defense has held Pittsburgh to a season low 26% from the floor. Soigné is going to let Lauren Dixon run some of the point here. And a timeout here just to get some substitutions into the game. And there are the leading scorers for UConn, led by Charles with 21 and 9 boards for Tina. And Montgomery and Soigné will check out. Jackie Fernandez, Cassie Kearns get into the lineup. So Connecticut will be moving on to the championship game, the #1 seed, ready to advance and try and sweep the regular season and tournament titles. And they will face either Louisville or West Virginia. They handled West Virginia earlier in the year, and Louisville gave them a tough match down in Freedom Hall in front of over 19,000 people in a hard-fought ball game. Dixon, the kick out. The three, no good. The putback won't fall.
You know, Beth, Pittsburgh has got to feel good about getting to the semifinals this year. You know, since Agnes Baronato's taken over, the program has increased their wins, their recognition. And we talked in the open that she doesn't want to have a good team. She wants to have a good program. And she's put together some wins this year and some recognition for her program, and names like Shavante Zellis and Mercedes Walker. So you know, these ladies have no reason to hang their heads. Have done a fantastic job getting this far.
And get ready for the NCAA tournament now and see if they can better what they did last year with 1 win in the NCAA tournament, and see if they can advance to the Sweet 16 or beyond this year.
You could absolutely make an impact.
Three is good from Ashley Braxton. With 1 minute to go in the semis. Huskies will improve to 31-1 on the season. For Gino Auriemma, that is win 651 of his career. And as they have done all year long, Brooke, they have done it with a dominant performance in the paint. And they will once again outscore their opponent. They're plus 12 on the glass. They're shooting better than 50% on the day.
Coming into the Big East tournament, they had outscored their opponents in the paint with over 1,100 to just a little over 500. So more than double entering the Big East tournament. Louisville, the only team so far this season to outscore them in the paint, and that was a close one at 44-42.
Braxton, the backdoor cut for the lay-in. Fernandez across midcourt. Well, the streak will come to an end tonight for Maya Moore. Double-figure scoring in her first 31 games. And it ties Diana Taurasi for the longest streak in UConn history. Dixon, oh, what a shot by Lauren Dixon. There's a look at the future at the point for Connecticut. That'll make the highlight rule, and UConn moves on to the championship game. 74-47, the final score. So Moore, even though the streak comes to a close, she'll gladly take the win for her team and get ready to play for her first Big East tournament championship as the Huskies move on 74-47 the final. Coming up next on ESPNU, it's Sports Center U. And then we'll be right back here for Louisville and West Virginia. The 7 seed and the 3 seed will go toe-to-toe for a spot in the championship against the top-seeded Huskies. For Brooke Weiss-Brode and our entire crew, I'm Beth Mowens. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.